Let's take a look at another non-thinker, shall we?
What's up? I actually did.
LGBTQ.
I give you the mic, and we hear what you have to say. And then I'm going to answer you, and you'll hear what I have to say, what everybody else here has to say. Does that sound like a good deal?
I don't need the mic. Yeah. I can speak louder.
Well, stand up, tell me your name, and state your question.
My name's Alexis Case, and I grew up here.
Okay?
In this town. LGBTQ is a serious situation in this world today. There are children that get bullied because they are gay, they're lesbian, they're transgender. I don't need that.
Okay, you're welcome down if you want. You get to ask your question, but after that, you're going to hear me give my answer. So I'll let you finish.
What is your stance on LGBTQ?
Thank you for your question. I'm going to answer it. I'm going to go into a level of depth that I don't usually go into on a campaign trail, but I'm going to do it because you asked the question. You deserve an answer. LGBTQIA, there's so many letters, they just added a plus at the end. That's where we are now. What's going on? So the same movement, because if we're going to call that one thing, let's play it fair. The same movement that said that the sex of the person you're attracted to is hardwired on the day you're born. That was the premise of the gay rights movement, for it to count as a civil right. That movement is now saying that your own biological sex is totally fluid over the course of your life. You can't believe both those things. Well, I think I'm going to get to a deeper saying. That's where I was about a year or two ago, but I think there's something deeper going on, and I'll tell you what it is. So the same movement, and by the way, let's think about the women's rights movement in this country, which says there's many ways to be a woman. You can have long hair, short hair, you can wear a skirt, you can wear jeans. Now it says that, if actually you want to behave a certain way, that means you're a man. So I think that the hypocrisies go all the way down. And I'll tell you what's going on. You can't believe both of those things at the same time if you're operating according to principles of sheer logic. But you can if you're adopting a faith, a cult-like belief system. So, this is controversial for me to say, but I'm going to tell you what I think. I believe that transgenderism specifically is a mental health disorder. I believe it's a mental health condition. No, we're going to finish this. This is good. We have to have open conversation in this country. But I don't think the compassionate thing to do. Well,
It's how they feel.
Well, let me. I'm going to give you a chance to respond if you like. But we can't have an open debate in this country if we're not able to state our views.
That's how they feel.
Well, the truth must have made his, her, or their chair uncomfortable. Luckily, it did not end there. There's a bit of a happy ending.
Unable to state our views.
That's how they feel.
That's how they feel. And you know what? I'll tell you a story, and you deserve to hear this. I met two young women in this race about 6 months ago. Their names were Chloe and Katie, two young women. They're in their 20s now. Both of them had their breasts cut off. One of them had her uterus removed. They're in their 20s. They regret that decision. One of them wants to have kids. She'll never have kids. The other one will never breastfeed her children. They'll never be the same because they had that done to them when they were teenagers. So no, when a young person shows up and says, my gender doesn't match my biological sex, they're asking for help. They happened to them when one girl was 13 when it happened.
Morning. Shops improve.
It happened to her. She's in her 20s now and regrets it. This is what's wrong in this country. We will look back at this and say this was barbaric that we allowed this to happen in this country. That is not compassion. That is cruelty. And so I don't think the right thing to do is, I'm not going to villainize those people. You don't villainize people who are going through suffering, but you have to be willing to say when a kid shows up and says, my gender doesn't match my biological sex, you have to be able to say, what else is going wrong at home? What else might be going wrong at school? Get to the bottom of what's going on. Help that person with compassion, with dignity.
A handshake. Another Wokey who saw reason. Victory. Will the next Wokey be the same?
50% of trans people, and it says, at the end of the film, there's no long-term studies of transition regret, but from what we do have, 99% of trans people do not go on to regret their transition, right?
Do you know who that study was done by?
I don't remember, and
So his name is Dr. Jack Turbin, and he's actually funded by AbbVie. AbbVie is a pharmaceutical company that gives money or does create cross-sex hormones and puberty blockers. Jack Turbin is essentially paid by people who benefit from you being on cross-sex hormones. And so he's the one that's put that study out, and he's the one that's given you that statistic. So it's not to say that I'm not negating who you are or who you believe you are, but that's not a true statistic.
Well, it's safe to say whoever is under that mask must not bother about the body of articles. They just skim the headlines and hurry to a microphone to let us know.
Would you like me to put my sign on my?
Sure.
Save the planet! Save the cows! And the vegan! Upcharge now! Save the planet! Save the cows! And the vegan! Upcharge now! Save the planet! Save the cows! And the upcharge now! Save the planet!
For some reason, these wokies were mad at Starbucks for not being vegan, and my guy across the street had a